All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Become Great podcast with your hosts, Ahab and Dan
Hey.
and Dan Beaver. So we are continuing the Become Great series,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So we are now in R, right?
Yeah.
Respect. Second word, we're in the great portion.
Yep.
R. So this is all about respect, this one, right?
Yeah.
And when I saw this, I was looking this over and I mean, this makes so much sense, right? Like respect with everything in life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just something that it's not just something that everyone wants for themselves, right?
Yeah.
But it's something that everyone kind of almost inherently understands that like without respect in any kind of environment, something's off, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so for this, where I'd like to kind of start things is a place where I would like to see what your thoughts are on like, how has the aspect of respect played into your life and also your operations as a manager, as a business owner, like why you even thought you should incorporate that into this whole acronym in general?
When you're trying to build a culture where people feel valued, one of the easiest ways for someone to feel valued is for them to feel respected, right? Psychologically, when a man feels respected, he equivocates it with love.
Yeah,
right.
That's true. Yeah.
And so if you have men in your environment that are working, you want to respect them because they may not say that I feel loved by you, but if they say they feel respected by you, it's almost synonymous.
Totally.
Right. And so it's really important that because to get the best out of a man is to respect a man.
Yes.
If you want to get the best out of him. We had Preston on last episode, and the journey with Preston was really just me respecting him. When I called him and said, hey, you don't have permission to talk about yourself like that.
Yeah, that was big.
Not around me. When I did that, it was showing how much respect I had for him, but it was also highlighting like you need to have some respect for yourself.
Yeah.
And so my goal really is to create an environment around me. It doesn't have to just be in my business. I'm talking about my family, my home life, my friend circles, where we feel respected.
Yes.
I had Andrew on here, a while back.
Yep.
And Andrew's one of my close friends. When I first met Andrew, one of his closest friends and he would just rip each other apart. And not like, all guys kind of talk trash. Like it's just a part of like being with guys, right?
Totally.
But like they would actually like, it was cutting. Like you'd be in the room and it would feel a little uncomfortable. And I remember one day we were golfing and I said, hey, like I want to grow in my relationship with you. I want us to be closer friends, but the way you and that friend are, I said, I just don't want it to look anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I want us to walk away feeling more full of life after being with one another than feeling drained after being with one another. And what it really was saying is like, I'm going to show up with respect for you, and I'm expecting you to show up with respect for me.
Yes. You said that was the first conversation you had with him.
No, this was after like, we had been getting to know each other, but it was like me saying, hey, I like to go deeper as a friendship in our friendship. And so if that's going to happen, it can't look like that.
Yeah. But you set the tone like, hey, like I would like this, but this is the boundary that you set, which is essentially so mutual respect for each other.
Mutual respect. And he's such an easy person to respect.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a high performer. He's a great dad. He's a great family man.
Great guy.
And I feel like it'd be pretty easy to respect me because I'm fairly respectful, and so those are like type of things where I'm like, let's make this easy on each other and just say that type of relationship isn't on the table here. Yeah.
And I feel like that's super important for everyone in their lives, right? Like you were talking about a friendship situation right there, right?
Yeah.
You also mentioned your time with Preston as well.
Yeah.
Like even though he was working for you, he mentioned something about himself that, like self-derogatory remarks,
and
right?
He could have been kidding.
He could have been kidding.
Yeah.
But you were like, no, I'm holding you to this level of the standard of respect for yourself.
Yeah. I had a guy years ago in one of my restaurants. He was one of our cooks. And he made a mistake, and he was so hard on himself, and he had been on drugs in the past, and he was recovered, and he was getting better, right? And he's in the kitchen, and he goes into the dish pit, and he's like, oh, you're so stupid. You're so stupid. And I remember looking at him, I said, Tony, you don't have permission to talk about yourself this way.
That's cool.
I said, would you ever talk to me like that? He goes, no, sir. No, sir. I would never talk to you like that. And I'm like, am I more valuable than you? You should be the most valuable person to you.
That's a great point. Wow.
So if you wouldn't talk to me like that, you don't have permission to talk to yourself like that. And he was calling him to a higher level of respect for himself. Because, our world, the words we use create our world.
100%.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm working on this with my son right now. My oldest son, we had this long conversation about respect last night. And he's like, Dad, but I just love to argue. Like, it's the only time I ever feel like I'm using my whole brain. And I'm like, I kind of get it. Like, intelligent people love to argue.
Yeah.
And not because they like to, they're not trying to get under your skin. They're just trying to figure out, can I get you to do what I want?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this possible? He's 11. He's almost 12, right? And I said, that's great. But you need to learn how to do it without tearing other people down.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when you tear people down, you don't make yourself look smarter. You actually make yourself look dumber.
Yeah. But when you can do that with respect and kindness, he could be a great debater.
He's got my wife and I going, what are we going to do? He's actually got a good point.
He needs to get in the law. He needs to consider law school.
This kid is smart as a whip, on his feet,
super quick.
So quick.
That's
bro.
awesome.
Witty,
oh, man.
Funny.
Oh, man.
Drives me crazy.
When he becomes a teenager, you guys are going to definitely have a fun time.
Right now, we're working on him being a man.
That's cool.
We're providers, we're protectors, we're promoters. And I'm like, I need you to encapsulate this manhood.
Yeah. And when he does get it down, because he will, for sure. I know
he's gonna be a great man of God.
Yeah. I already know you and your wife have him already on a great path. But whenever he does, oh man, when he takes that mind, right, uses it the full mind, right, to debate and argue from a standpoint of respect and kindness. Oh man, people themselves, whenever I hear a great debater, even I get respect for them. I'm like, wow, that's actually a great point. Wow. There's a special dynamic at play when people can take that gift, which he has, but offer it. And not just that gift. I feel like whenever anyone is moving from a standpoint of their gifting, but with respect, right? Because people can easily take their gift and be like, oh, look at me, right?
Look how great I am.
Look at how great I am, exactly. But when they come at it from a standpoint of humility and respect for the other person, you by default, I notice this happens to myself, I by default gain respect for that person as well.
I was in a meeting earlier this week, and I have to be a little bit pushy in this meeting because I kind of want to get my way. And there's a lot of bureaucracy and stuff kind of getting in the way, and I'm not used to any of that stuff. So I'm in this meeting, and I'm pushing, right? And my mentor was in the room, and afterwards I kind of hit him up. I'm like, hey, how are these people experiencing me? He's like, oh yeah, they all think you're really pushy. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, do I need to change my approach? And he's like, no.
Keep pushing.
He goes, no, you're so honoring, and they love you so much that they actually see your side.
Wow. Because whenever I thought where you were going with that, because most people, whenever they're being told you're being too pushy, it almost seems like there's an air of disrespect, but that was not the case with you.
No, it was like you are a pusher. And people who get things done.
Oh yeah. We
are pushy, right? And that's just that we get things done. We know how to get things done. We've been getting things done for years. We know how to push limitations, limited thinking, limited barriers, boundaries. And so we can be a little bit pushy, but doing it with honor and the people around you feeling valued and loved while you're doing it, that's not something you're born with.
I was just about to ask, that's extremely rare. So how did you get to that point? How did you infuse respect in the pushiness?
So here's an example, right? They don't want to do something I want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And I go, can you explain to me why you're giving me pushback? I'd love to understand your perspective.
Sure.
And then they explain it, and I go, I see your perspective. But what if you added this point of my perspective? This is a marketing campaign. This is actually a recruiting trip. Like we want to do this for the purpose of X, Y, and Z. And we can't see the growth that you're wanting without doing some of this. So can we maybe reconsider it? Right? I'm still pushing. I'm still pushing. But I'm not crossing the line of being disrespectful. And it's not about her, right? It's not about her position. It's about the goal.
Yes, which is what you touched upon. You incorporate that in your response, like back to her, right?
Right.
And what you also did was you actually went out of your way to see her viewpoint. I see what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Now, if you include what I'm talking about here, boom, and here's the goal we're shooting towards.
Yeah.
So
your plan doesn't hit our goal. My plan does hit our goal. And so finding, like, when you're being respectful and you're arguing, what are we actually trying to accomplish?
Most people try, when they're arguing, just try to accomplish them being known as being right. Most people.
But there's actually a goal to the argument. Hopefully. Right?
Yeah,
if you're going to have a conflict with somebody, hopefully there's a goal.
Yeah.
My purpose of conflict is always connection.
I remember you saying that, in a prior episode. That's right.
Yeah. So my purpose for conflict is connection, right? And I want to constantly connect with you through my conflict.
Yeah.
And not feel like you are the reason I'm upset. I'm actually not upset. I'm trying to get to a certain goal. Do we agree that this is still our goal? One of the people in the room said something, and I just said, and nobody else was understanding what this person was trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I didn't fully agree with it, but I said, man, I really love how you're taking this long-term vision and pulling it in today. I'm like, what if we left that 6 months out and we can try to address it 6 months from now versus now? Because that is a long-term play that you're coming at.
Yeah.
And I started with, I love that. And so you have to grow in your value for people and their vision and their opinions in order to have a respectful argument. Yes. So if you want to actually grow in connection when you're arguing, you got to keep the vision for the goal of the argument in mind. Because arguments are great. Like the only people that you really argue with are people you care about. Unless if you're arguing with trolls online, you're wasting your time.
Completely.
But the people that you have conflict with are usually people that you care about.
Absolutely.
And so to go into those relationships, I heard a comedian say one time, he goes, we don't value like enough.
Like?
Yeah. He's like, we don't value like enough. And he's talking about relationships. And he says, it's like, so if I'm on a date with a girl I like, and I'm trying to impress her. I got her a nice restaurant, and she like leans over and spills her glass of wine, and it lands all over me. If I like her, I'm like, oh, baby, don't worry about it. Like, it's fine.
Yep.
It's going to be all good.
Absolutely.
But say that's my wife of 20 years. Oh, what are you doing? What's wrong with you?
It's a good point. There's a difference.
He goes, we don't value like enough.
That's good.
Like when you love somebody, if it's your brother, your sister, somebody you deeply care about, we push past all the normal things that you would give to someone you like. And we use blunt language that actually creates walls and doesn't build bridges.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that we always lead with respect is because we are in the business of building bridges, not walls.
Bridges, not walls. Yes.
It's so vital that we build bridges in our conflicts, in our relationships,
Yes.
because you never know. Like one of my team members recently put in his notice, and he's like moving on, and I sat with him and I said, hey, I really want you to end well, because you're going to be in this city a long time. I'm going to be in this city a long time. And I always want to be able to say I support you. And in this next couple of weeks, I really want you to finish well.
That's cool. That's cool.
So that like I can always feel like you respect me on the way out.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, right, I want you to keep this bridge really strong, because we're going to need each other in the future.
That's awesome. How did he respond? How did he say anything? Okay. I was about to say.
No, she loved it.
Yeah.
And he's, he had done a great job in our relationship in the 4 years he worked for me.
That's cool.
He's a great young man.
Nice.
I'm really proud of him. He's getting married soon. I love that guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, and from what you just did there, and you alluded to this earlier on, you said that because you value him.
Oh, totally.
And you've even used that word overtly, like about 10 minutes ago or so in a separate story. And I think it sounds like that's the key for respect. You can't respect someone if you don't have value for them. Is that? I
think the tough part is most people demand respect.
Yeah, true.
Right? And that's fine. But to demand respect without offering respect is a losing battle.
Without offering respect it definitely is. Absolutely.
Respect works like this. It has a boomerang effect. The more respect you give out, the more respect you receive. The more respect you give out, the more respect you receive. And to demand respect without offering respect is a losing battle.
Yeah, that you just fling. It's not a boomerang. You just fling out whatever to other people, and it's a lose. Yeah,
it comes off as arrogant.
It definitely does. Yeah, and so
you must respect me. I will not respect you. Yeah. That doesn't usually work.
No, not at all. People can tell, even if you're using the right words, people can tell.
Yeah.
From your body language, from what you're giving off, that you don't.
Yeah, 80% of your communication has nothing to do with your words.
Yeah, totally. And so when people try to demand respect, right, I feel like that comes down to a self-respect problem. So I feel like that's a huge part of just respect in general for other people.
Yeah.
Right? Self-respect. So how have you stewarded your own self-respect in your life? Because I have a feeling that's kind of like the wellspring from where you can therefore give respect to others.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When you do care about yourself, and it's important to care about yourself.
Yes.
One of the things that you have to offer yourself, especially as a man, is respect. Mm-hmm. So if you fail, I ask myself the question, would I treat my best friend the way I'm treating myself right now? And if the answer is no, I change my behavior.
It's a good rule.
If I wouldn't talk to my wife the way I'm talking to myself right now, then I have to change my behavior.
Yes.
I have to change my words. And so, the Bible says, take every thought captive under the obedience of Christ.
That's right.
That means not every thought should be in my mind. And so I actually have to intentionally find the wayward thoughts, grab a hold of them, and say, this one doesn't have permission to live inside my head.
That's a good practice to have. Wow.
So when I first started doing this, it was nonstop, because there were so many, it was like a circus inside my head.
That's rough.
I had so much negative self-talk that I actually didn't even know what I was thinking anymore, because it was just it was a crowded room. And then the more I would say, this thing about my appearance, about being fat, I don't want to talk about myself like that anymore. I'm going to start calling myself an athlete. I'm putting this one away.
That's good.
That one, and every time it would come up. And I would say I was dumb because I couldn't read very well. And so I would just start grabbing that, I'm not dumb. I just don't read well.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not
different.
dumb.
Yeah.
I don't read well. And I just keep taking those thoughts and taking them captive. And then you find that your brain starts quieting down, and you have more free thoughts and freedom inside your mind.
Yeah.
And then it's one thing to take a thought captive. It's another thing to replace the thought.
And how do you go about doing that? What's the difference really?
Yeah. So like I replace a thought by saying, I will say true things about myself. I'm not dumb. I'm actually really smart. I'm just not book smart. Right. Or I know I'm overweight, but I'm working towards a goal.
That's right. Yeah.
And I would tell myself the truth. Like I'm athletic, but my body hasn't caught up to it yet.
Hasn't caught up to it yet. Yes. I'm feeling that for everything I'm shooting for. Yes.
I'm an athletic person having an unathletic experience.
Having an unathletic experience, but I'm still athletic. That's right. Yeah. It's taking its time to catch up. You know what they say, they can't rush perfection. So
to have some, the self-respect, you have to change the way you talk to yourself. You have to change the way you treat yourself. You have to go to bed earlier, eat healthy food, drink more water. All those things play a role into having self-respect, because if you wouldn't feed it to your kids, you shouldn't feed it to yourself. Right.
That's good. You're talking about words when you say feed.
Yeah. Words, food, all of it.
Well, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. All of it. If you wouldn't give it to your kid, don't give it to yourself.
That's a good rule. Like a really great rule.
And that's something like, I wouldn't call my kid an idiot.
Yeah.
Why am I calling myself an idiot?
Yeah. And it's so tempting. It seems like we can always get away giving ourselves a hard time, right? Because there's no one to reprimand us but ourselves.
Yeah.
But so that's why I believe when it comes down to self-respect, that's a key part to start before we get to respecting others.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, treat others like you want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
Golden rule in the Bible, right? But the key thing is like you want to be treated. Like if you don't treat yourself good, how can you expect to treat others good? So it sounds like the key starting point there is to start talking to yourself more kindly, right? Like acknowledge the truth. Okay, hey, I may not be where I'm at yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Right? Take every thought captive.
And that's a part of celebrating progress, not perfection.
Celebrate progress, not perfection. Yep. You mentioned in a prior episode, I think it was actually the one with Preston, where there's a bullseye, right? People like you aim for a bullseye in a general direction. It's hard to really ever hit the bullseye dead on. But as long as you're going in that direction, right? Even if you get close, like you should celebrate that progress.
The target isn't for the purpose of hitting a bullseye. The target is so that you know what direction you're going to.
So you know what direction you're going to.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. And as long as you keep on aiming in that general direction, you're going to get to where you want to go.
If my target is to be a multimillionaire, like if that's my target.
Yeah.
If I land at 2 million, that's multi.
That's not wrong. Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, that's great. That's I'm moving in that direction.
Yes.
And that means I'm also not, I'm making these kind of decisions, not those kind of decisions, not those kind of decisions.
Yes.
Right. And so those are some areas in that whole respect category where you want to focus on how to add value to yourself and to the people around you. And by being respectful, it makes it easier for people to receive from you.
Yes. Yeah.
And as a leader, I want to make it as easy as possible for people to receive from me. Because people don't want to follow people that are disrespectful to them.
You got that right.
They want to follow people that value them.
That's key.
Yeah. Gallup came out with a poll that the average person would take a 36% pay cut to work in an environment where they felt valued.
36%.
36% pay cut. That means if you're making $5,000 a month, you would take a third away.
Yeah, that's a hefty amount.
That's a hefty amount. You make $100, you're down to $66.
Yeah, that's a hit. Yeah, but that's
how much they value.
That's a testament to how much being valued really matters to people.
Yeah, and respect is such an easy way to value people.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to value anyone. So I think that's a great way to end, but I just kind of want to round it out. So based on everything you said, right? valuing others, respecting others starts with value for them, right?
Yeah.
And the cool thing is it's a boomerang effect. As you give that out, as you give out that respect, it's going to come back to you as well.
Right.
So for folks who do want to demand respect, cool. You know what you got to do? Respect more people, value more people, right? And
It goes back to that principle of everyone is significant.
yes, which is, you mentioned the first episode.
How do you value everyone? You have to believe that every single person is significant.
So that's the first core belief. That's where the wellspring of value comes from.
Yeah.
Believe that every single person is significant. Absolutely. And so when you have that, and then you also value yourself,
Yeah.
right? Having self-respect for yourself, speaking kindly to yourself,
Yeah.
taking every thought captive that may want to like talk against yourself, right?
Yeah.
Then it makes it so much more easier to tap into that belief that everyone really is valuable. And you can give out respect, and coincidentally, people will respect you more as well in the process. So, wow, Ahab, thank you so much for sharing all that. Really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. My pleasure, man.
And folks, hey, if there's anything you loved from this entire episode, please let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe if you like this as well. Until next time, remember, folks, you too can become great.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.